Speaking about the Ahl al-Bayt with great love, and we do say Ahl al-Bayt fardun indana, that the love of Ahl al-Bayt is fard for us. If someone thinks that this is going towards Rawafidism, then you've not understood what a Rafidi and what a Sunni is. A true Sunni understands the Ahl al-Bayt through Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. A true Sunni understands Ahl al-Bayt through Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu anhu. How? We accept Sayyidina Umar Ibn Abi Khattab radiyallahu anhu, when his son came to him, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, and Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar says to his father, "Father, do you know what Hussein said? Hussein said about you and me that we are slaves of his and his grandfather." And Sayyidina Umar ibn Abi Khattab, we all know who that man is, radiyallahu anhu arda, that where he walks, even shaitan fears coming into that street. We all know who Sayyidina Umar ibn Abi Khattab is, that when he speaks, 21 sentences of his were made injunctions in the Quran al-Kareem. This is Sayyidina Umar ibn Abi Khattab, who speaks the tongue of a human being, but the narrations come out as if he was an angel. Sayyidina Umar, and that man, about him often ulama say, कि उनकी तलवार पहले चढ़ती थी, ज़बान बाद में चलती थी. That his sword would move first and then his tongue would move. You understand? And Sayyidina Umar says to his son Sayyidina Abdullah radiyallahu anhu, Hussein said this, come with me. Takes the hand of his son and says, where is Hussein? And they were seen playing outside the historical cemetery Jannat al-Baqi in Madinatul Munawwara. And for sure that is Jannat al-Baqi because Ahlul Jannah alive. They're playing, you know when children play with one another and when children start arguing. Not only children, adults do this as well, you know when adults start arguing, they start calling each other silly names and they start saying stupid things about one another which are not befitting for a believer. You know, words that are not befitting for a believer. Children arguing and they start saying things to one another. But this is the Ahl al-Bayt and the Sahaba we're speaking about. These are the groups of people about whom Rasulullah has said, my companions are like the stars. Follow any one of them and you will never go astray. And my Ahl al-Bayt, my family, is likened to the boat of Nuh alayhi salam. Whoever got onto that boat reached salvation. Boats, when they get lost in the night, they look at the stars to find their way. The Ahl al-Bayt and the Sahaba are joined onto one another. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar, he says, here's Hussein. We were playing and he got angry, he got vexed, and he says to me, don't argue with me. You and your father are slaves of my father and my grandfather. Sayyidina Umar ibn Abi Khattab says, Hussein, did you say this? He says, yes, I said this. He says, write it down on a piece of paper. But on the day of Qiyamah, if nothing comes to use, then I will give this paper in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, Ya Rabb, grant me forgiveness, for Hussein has called me and my son the slave of the Ahl al-Bayt. This is Sayyidina Umar ibn Abi Khattab, the best of generations. The Khalif, Amir al-Mu'mineen, for him to call himself a slave of the Ahl al-Bayt. Nobody's going to put the fatwa of Rawafid on him. But when we say it, you can't believe in them enough, bro. You understand? You can't believe in the Ahl al-Bayt enough. If it wasn't for the Ahl al-Bayt, for what they have done, Ahl al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah would not be protected. As said Imam Shafi'i radiyallahu anhu has said, and which means if my extreme love for the Ahl al-Bayt makes me a Rafidi, then I would rather be a Rawafid than a Munafiq. Sayyidina Imam Shafi'i, I'm just repeating what he said, you understand? So if you've got a contention with that, take it up with Imam Shafi'i.